Putting together the Family and Friends Assessment was really an interesting project. What we did is we talked to the family members and said, what is it that you want to contribute, and what is it that you notice, and what kind of questions do you think belong in this chart? But then we went to us and we said, what is it that we want the family to learn from this questionnaire? And their feedback was incredible. And it was essentially around this idea that they need to know their role. They need to not be oblivious. And it kind of reminds me of a thing that I learned early on, and I even wrote a blog entry about. And that is, when we get diagnosed, suddenly our family and friends all become perfect. Every problem that we create is always our problem. It's always we who created it. It's never we as in the family members and me that created the problem. I'm the problem. And they have nothing to do with the problem. So what we did is we took this questionnaire, and yes, we asked, do they have some insights? Do they notice some of the things that we don't, which is really important. But we also asked, what's your role? Do you recognize what you're doing, right and wrong? Do you recognize the tools you need? Do you recognize the skills you need to develop? So that they start thinking about their role. And it's really interesting to have people do this exercise because of the immense amount of growth that happens on both sides of the equation. Sometimes it's really difficult for us to take those forms that the people wrote and sit down and read them. Sometimes that's an incredibly difficult task. Sometimes you might want to even put it off. You want them to fill it in, but you're not ready to face it right now. It's okay. You have it. And when you're feeling strong and you're feeling proud of your successes and you're starting to accomplish things, that might be a more appropriate time to sit down and look at it. Especially if you've seen some improvements and you can read their feedback and you can go, I worked on that. I'm actually better now. So if it seems too hard right now to face their answers, don't. But on the other hand, if you're feeling comfortable and secure and you're in your comfort zone, sometimes that feedback, even though it is hard, is valuable as can be. You have to understand that that feedback is their perception colored by the way they believe things. So don't take it literally. Don't take it personally as much as you can. But take it as, here's a totally different way of looking at the situation, and maybe there's some grains of truth and some grains of insight in there. But the most important thing is to get them to start recognizing their role and see this questionnaire as an important way to help your family and friend members to recognize and change the way they are contributing to whatever problems exist. I really hope you enjoy that as you take it, and I really look forward to hearing from you in what your thoughts are, because we can even add some of your ideas into the question for future people. Thanks again for participating in our program, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.